Welcome. In front of me is a Realme 16 Pro, and today I will show you how you can hard reset this device through settings. So, to get started, you will want to open up your settings. Let's disregard this. Let's go back. There we go. And in here, you can scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page where you will find System and Update. Now, before I get started with the actual reset, I will talk about backing up your device. If you're not interested in backing up your phone, maybe you have already done it or it's just not something that you're concerned about, you can skip forward, but I'm going to be going in an explanation over how you can back up in multiple different ways and which one is also the best one. So let's get to it. So right here we have backup and reset, and we have the option to backup and migrate. Just get rid of this piece of whatever that was. So in here you can see one way is the clone a phone. This is the migration process, and the second one is local backup. Local backup would be done to your device, but then you can move that from your device to, I don't know, external storage or your computer, whatever you want. Now, both of these options are great, though both of them will, I believe, lock you into OnePlus, Oppo, Realme, or Vivo ecosystem. I said all four just because they all have one big parent company, and these are interchangeable. Even though they're technically different brands, they all use the same clone phone application, and they're basically all communicate with each other. It's as though you had Toyota and Lexus. It's still the same kind of thing. Now, another way you can back up your device, which I don't recommend, is Google. But for people that don't really have the option or don't care to explore the other ones, you have Google. And I will want to warn you, when creating a backup through Google, it's basically giving away all your data to the cloud for Google to monetize. Just generally as a backup, this is already a bad idea in my opinion. And on top of that, the backing up process is pretty limited. So, as an example, if you're planning to back up photos and videos that you store on your phone, if it exceeds 15 gigabytes, too freaking bad. Google will only deal with 15 gigs. After that, whatever else is left, you can deal with this yourself, as the free kind of tier of your Google account has only 15 gigabytes of storage. You can buy more, but other than that, you're just kind of capped at 15. So for that, Google is pretty crap. In terms of applications, it doesn't even back them up, even though it claims that it does. What it does is basically gives itself a little cliff note that, hey, you know what, this phone before had said and said application. Let's just say it was Netflix, right? So when the backup is being restored on, I don't know, another device, or whenever it's being restored, re-download this application from Play Store, as that's where the application came from, so you should get it again. But if, for instance, this application is outside of Play Store, Google stops him and is basically doing this, like, whoa, 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 whoa. This didn't come from Play Store, so it's not our problem. You can deal with this shit yourself. Not our circus, not our monkeys. So in that way, it's kind of awful. And furthermore, even if it is from Play Store, and let's say Netflix goes out of business and removes the application from Play Store, or maybe they violate some kind of law or whatever reason, and Google decides to remove the application from Play Store, yeah, cool that you have a cliff note, but the cliff note doesn't have the application to pull from Play Store, as the application doesn't exist any longer in Play Store. Now, such an example would have been great, for instance, when it comes down to Apple. When Tim Sweeney decided to change the payment processes, and Apple removed their application. Now, people that already had the Epic Launcher or Epic Store, whatever, installed on their phones could continue use it, but new people weren't able to download it any longer. So if we consider this as a Google site, such a backup, cool that you had a backup of this application, but it no longer exists, so you can go screw yourself. Even though the application is still fully functional, if it's on your phone and still can connect, you can't really get it from Play Store anymore. So again, as a backup, it's absolutely terrible. And other than that, contacts, messages, and so on, logs, all that basically gets synced to the cloud if you're using their applications for this, like the Google Photos or Contacts by Google, and so on. So again, this can be easily imported, but it also basically gets imported to the cloud, meaning that now Google has access to it for monetization purposes. So again, kind of shitty. Now, going back to the backup and migrate rate here, or to the clone phone, or doing this, you can use this kind of clone phone app to migrate the data from this device to a other one if that device is Oppo, Realme, Vivo, or OnePlus. Either one of these will allow you to use this specific application. It's also visible on your home screen under Tools. There we go. It's right here. So you can do this. But if you have other brand's device and you're trying to migrate this data to another device from other brand, you won't be able to use this application. Instead, you would have to download on this device the application of the other phones. So as an example, something like Samsung uses Smart Switch. You can download it from Play Store on here, and then using Smart Switch to connect these two devices, do that. The reason for this is when manufacturers like Samsung or Oppo, Realme, Vivo create these kind of applications, they're making your life easier to move to their device and deal with their own devices in between, but not to basically use that application to move out of their device. That's not beneficial to them, so that's why this only goes one way. So each manufacturer usually has their own version of it. Like I said, Samsung uses Smart Switch, Xiaomi uses Mi Mover, Motorola uses something like Mi Move or something like that, while Oppo, Realme, Vivo, and OnePlus use the clone phone. Huawei uses phone clone, the other way around. And anyway, you can use any one of these to move over your data from one device to another. So that one will be the best kind of way of going about it. Okay, now let's get back to our resetting. So we're going to find our settings, and in here, once your device is backed up, you select just reset phone and then erase all data. Now, if you have some kind of screen lock, you will need to confirm it. I do have a pattern right here, so let me just draw it to confirm it. And it gives me a quick message. Permanently clear all data. Now we have two options. We can either retain eSIM profile or clear it. This is completely up to you. If you're resetting this device, but you're still going to be using it with the same kind of numbers, you probably are interested in keeping the eSIM profile. Now, for people that are resetting this device because maybe you got a new one, you got I don't know, maybe it broke and you're switching to another device, you probably are interested into clearing all data, which would include deleting your eSIM. Now, it will delete it from the phone, but it can still add that eSIM on another devices. And one last message, clear all data. All data, including your eSIM information, will be permanently cleared. This operation cannot be undone, but won't cancel any mobile service plans. I'm going to click on clear, as our device is already backed up, and this will begin resetting the device. Now, this process will take probably 1 to 2 minutes to finish up, and when it's completed, we will be presented with the setup screen. So I'll be back once it is visible for me. And as you can see, the process is now finished, and you can set up your device however you like. So, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.